Today I have a pretty interesting movie to review for you guys. I actually took the time to watch a movie this week that I had never seen, and just so I wasn't picking something randomly off my shelf. So this movie is called Middlemen, right there. Stars Luke Wilson and a bunch of other people. James Caan, the guy from Frasier, aka Sideshow Bob, is in it. He has a brief cameo, I should say. Terry Crews is in it, everybody's favorite effeminate, muscular guy, I guess you could say. It's the guy who sings that 1,000 Miles song in White Chicks. He's singing in the movie Click. He played the dad on Everybody Hates Chris. He doesn't have too huge of a role. He just plays Luke Wilson's bodyguard. And there are a few other people who you might recognize throughout this movie, but I won't really go too much into detail on that one. So this movie, it stars Luke Wilson. He narrates the film as the film progresses and goes on. And they don't really say what he does. It just says that he makes a living solving other people's problems. So I guess kind of like he's a businessman and he works out people's problems, kind of does their business for them and figures things out, makes it so that something that may not be going smoothly, like a business deal, he solves it, makes it better, or changes it a little bit, like he does in this main part of the story. There's these two guys. They're kind of idiots. They're cokeheads. They decide that they wanna make money on the internet. It's more so just they're really high, so they think this would be a good idea. It turns out it is a good idea, though. Today, we all know that porn is vastly available on the internet, and it is thanks to these two guys. It is actually based on a true story. I'm sure it's altered and exaggerated, and parts are made up, just like every other true story, because you can't know every single detail, especially when people are not really willing to tell certain things of a story. But these two guys, so they start out, this is, I think it's early 90s, mid-90s, when, before internet porn, I guess, was done, because someone had to do it, right? So these guys, they start out by making money by basically just scanning pictures of magazines, like naked magazines, Playboy, whatever it was, onto the internet, and charging people, like, $10 to view this stuff, which doesn't make sense, because you could easily just go and buy those magazines for less than that. But I guess it's a subscription base, so they post new stuff. And one guy figures out that you can get a credit card number and pay using that like a magazine subscription base does. And the other guy doesn't think it'd really work, but they do it anyways. And over a 6-month time or so, they do get quite a few subscriptions, and they're starting to make a lot of money, like $7 grand within like a month even. But they're not really doing it right because they're getting so many customers that they can't even handle it. So that's where Luke Wilson comes in. He comes in through James Caan, I think it is. Yeah, James Caan is kind of deals, he kind of hooks them all up. And Luke Wilson starts working with these guys, and he tells them that instead of just doing what they're doing, they can make this into a much more legitimate business by being a credit card supplier or whatever, instead of being the guys who distribute the pornography online. They basically, like they use as an example in the movie, like a guy who's making porn in Thailand, they don't want it coming in onto someone's credit card as whatever the graphic name is. I'm not just going to start saying very graphic titles that they use in the movie. But so instead of it coming up as explicit, or expletive on the credit card invoice, it comes up as 24/7 live support, or whatever it is that their company is called. And so Luke Wilson kind of takes it from there, and they start making a lot of money, and it's very successful. However, of course, nothing can go really smoothly, especially when they get involved with the Russian mob. There's all sorts of cash, there's ladies, there's sex, there's all sorts of crazy stuff, drugs, a lot of cocaine going on with these two guys who came up with the idea. Sort of a lot to process, I know, but it is a very interesting movie. The back of this kind of sums it up a bit better, so I'll just read it off really quick for you. Businessman Jake Harris, Luke Wilson, in old school, built a perfect life by solving other people's problems. Then he met Wayne and Buck, two moronic geniuses with a shocking plan to make millions on the internet. When Jack helps launch their business scheme, the cash starts rolling in. Suddenly surrounded by money, organized crime, and the FBI, Jack fools himself into believing that he's staying clean in a dirty business, inspired by events that are almost too bizarre, too hilarious, and too dangerous to be true. Middlemen is an outrageous story of sex, crime, and lots of money. So that's basically it. I'll review it really quick here because I've been kind of babbling about what the movie's about. Can't really say a whole lot of bad things about it, honestly. I bought this used at Blockbuster for $10, whatever it is, which Blockbuster's closing down now. All of them. because a few closed and now they're all closing down. Got that used at Blockbuster for like $10 maybe, and I always feel like Blu-rays that are kind of that low would always be worth it. Fortunately, this one was. It was actually a really good movie. The plot is great. It's a comedy drama. It also has plenty of action though, so it covers a whole lot of different genres for people to be interested in. It's funny. Luke Wilson does a really good job. It didn't do very well at all. It had a $20 million budget, and during its 3-week limited release, it made less than $800,000, and that's gross revenue combined worldwide as well. Even though I think it was only released in the States, and I think that includes home video release as well. So did very poorly. Help these people out and buy this movie. Actually, don't buy this movie. Just rent it or watch it on demand if you can find it, because it's really a movie where you can't really watch more than one time. Like Dazed Confused, I like to use that movie as an example. You can watch that over and over again because there's no twist. There's no what's going to happen at the end, because it's just a 24/7 movie. Sorry, not 24/7 movie. 24 hours in one day movie and stuff. Whereas this is kind of like, you know what happens. Not too exciting unless you watch it like a year and a half later with someone else who's never seen the movie. So really, that's about it. But guys will like this movie. There's a lot of nudity. It has a lot to do with porn. There's a lot of action. Maybe not a movie for all girls, but I know there's some girls that are interested in those kind of things. Certainly a guy's movie. That's pretty much all you can say. It's pretty good. At the very ending, it's kind of lame, but that's what really happens in the real life story, because it's inspired by a true story. It says, actually, so not based on a true story, but it's one of those things at the end where it's like so and so is now. It shows the different characters and what happened to those people in real life. Awesome movie. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's not really lacking. It's not a perfect movie, just like any others. There's some parts where it's just kind of like, that was stupid, that was lame, this is kind of annoying, whatever. You don't like this, you don't like that, you don't like that person, you don't like this scene, whatever. Overall, pretty sweet movie. Find it if you can. Pretty decent cast. There are people you will recognize, people you won't recognize, naked girls you won't recognize. So check this movie out, and that's all I have to say. I almost forgot to mention that today is a very special anniversary. Not really special, I guess, but it is an anniversary nonetheless. Yesterday, on the 18th, it was 2 years since we started this channel, and tomorrow is 2 years since the very first extremely mediocre movie review was posted. I posted the movie review House Arrest. 2 years later, Simon and I are still doing this channel. We have some awesome other channel mates, whatever the hell you want to call them, going on right now. We've got a couple, or 1 or 2, or I don't know how many open days, but we've gone through many channel member, and we have some good ones now. It's just been 2 years. I can't believe it's been 2 years, and I've only missed 1 week, but there's been weeks for the past couple of years where I have posted a couple reviews within the same week, so I think I've made up for that. But that's kind of unbelievable that we're still doing this, and my movie reviews haven't got any better, unfortunately, but thanks to everyone who has stuck with us this entire time, and enjoy the rest of the week's reviews.